So I wasn't planning on making a video, but once I started, I thought, let's make a video. So I've just finished on a big job that overran, and all of this stuff needs to be put away. You should have seen this a little while ago. It was an absolute mess. I've tidied up my desk. There's still stuff on it. Fortunately, no client-based information. We had to cut down some lavender, and so I had to put that to dry as well. A big box of Karen markers arrived, which I haven't been able to look at. Some new Uniball stuff is here to look at. Some Pilot Parallel pens, and of course, I have to do some work for an exhibition that's coming up that I really want to take part in, and I need to rule up these lines. So I thought, oh, might as well use the lining template. So I'm going to film this so you can see the template in use. So what I'm doing is I'm using my parallel motion ruler. I want the lines to go right to the edge of the line. So what I'll do is obviously I didn't go right to the end with some of them, and I skipped one. And so I'm just doing the bottom first, but as you can see, it's really dark. I'm ruling up really dark lines, and I'm just going to scoot across to this side and continue ruling across. So I'm using a 2B. I'm using a 2B lead, a 0.3 in my Pentel 0.3 mechanical pencil. So I've used these since, I don't know, since 98. And I love these. I really love these Pentel pencils. I have tons of them for the 0.3s. I have little markings on them to tell me which one has an H, which one has an HB, which ones have 2B leads, because I use the 2B leads more than anything else, especially once I started using the lining template. So as you can see, I've drawn a border because I don't want to work outside there, and I've drawn an internal border. And now I'm ruling up the top lines. And because the template is so thick, it allows me to push against the top line without it flexing, without it moving, which is great because I need these lines to be straight. They're really dark because I'm going to use them as guidelines beneath something else. Let's do the top one because it's not as dark as the others are. And so I'm glad that it's going to give me a nice sharp edge, because I don't want to go over that edge. I'm a little bit crazy when it comes to ruling up lines. From my days at Reigate under Gaynor, demanding that our lines are all the same. And fortunately I had a great technical drawing teacher in Trinidad, David Bissoon, who really helped me to sort of understand line work. Okay, so now that's all done, nice and dark. I'm going to drop this down, and I'm going to ensure that the lines are lined up. So I'm just looking on the bottom of the cut, so it just doesn't touch that baseline, which is fine. And I'm holding that in place. I'm going to lock this in place, and then I am just going to again really want it right to the edge of that line. Do the bottom of the cut. Right? You do need to ensure that you have enough lead exposed because if you run out of lead, it'll the metal will scrape the paper, and that can be a real pain to have to deal with. So I'm going to slide that across. I didn't finish dropping this edge down, so I'm just going to add that in there. And people say to me, you know, how often do you use your template? And you know, since I had it made, I've used it all the time to rule up, because it's so accurate and it doesn't shift, and it allows me to make even lines. So I'm really happy with it. So let's do the other side. So I can see that I can see that that this is all finished, but now I need to do the top of the cut. And I'm trying to keep the pencil as vertical as possible whilst aiming for inside. So it's not here, it's just tilted back at about 5 degrees. And because it's clear, I can see exactly where I've made those lines. Excellent. Brilliant. They're nice and dark. And I'm going to butt it up against the edge there. That's done. This is not. And you know, it's not normal to be doing such a large ruling. And they are normally an absolute nightmare ruling at this scale. But this really makes quick work of it. This is brilliant. I'm really enjoying this. Now, this I need to rule this whole sheet up. So I'm going to move the template back up into place. And I'm going to drop it down a bit. See if that's it short. I'm going to drop it down a bit so that the top of the cut is in line with the line that I've just done. So let's rule that up. It's at the top, so I need to stand. I need to raise this table a little bit more. That's better. So this needs to come down just a little bit more. There. Of course, I really should be using my other glasses for this. Up. I twisted the wire a little bit because I forgot that it was locked in place. A little bit more. Excellent. Let's lock that in place. Let's move it down. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm really going to rule up the entire thing. So now I only need to do the bottom of each cut. And because I'm so high up, I can actually see into the cut itself. Usually when you're doing this and you're on a flat table, it causes more problems because you can't quite see into the cut. Right, so I've done that. Now actually that's 6 mil, this is 3 mil, that's 6 mil. I am going to rule the whole thing up. Let's move this down. 1. And so this will give me an absolutely magnificent sheet of, up a little bit, of 3 mil lines. So I tend to go this way, here, back, there, back, here, back, there, back. So this Bostrophodon pattern that I'm using, this Bostrophodon ruling, is basically, you know, it's the way in which hieroglyphs were written. And it basically means the direction an ox plows a field or a tractor will plow a field. So that gives me a nice set of, just had a little skip there, a nice set of beautifully ruled 3mm lines. And of course I'm going to be doing some copperplate script on this as well as some other things. So once I'm finished, I'll flatten the table and I will line up the 55 there to the 55 up here, and I can make every other line, little line, little line, little line, little line, little line, little line. So there's a little line. So, and then I can rule up all my 55s really easily. And so this is how it starts. So I hope you enjoyed that.